Have you ever wondered why fictional works are so comforting? I sometimes think of that. I sit down to watch a movie and just get lost in the story. Before I know it, 2 hours have gone by and I'm feeling happy that I got to escape for a bit. I don't know if it's different for you than it is for me, but I get lost in movies and games when I watch them. It's not only them that's going through the experience, I feel that it's me as well. This has its ups and it has its downs. The ups being that you get to escape into their world, the downs being that you escape into their world. Watching horror movies, for example, and getting invested in them can be a not so great experience. But why is it that we enjoy doing this? Is it a form of escaping our lives? Or is it something meant to complement us by giving us different perspectives? I feel that it can be a combination of both. I've been watching this new series, I believe it's called 1883. I highly recommend that you take a look at it. Whoever directed it is a beast of a director in my opinion. The way they hook you in each episode and the soundtrack choices that they use in certain events, I believe they were done perfectly. It's the only show that has ever gotten me so emotional, but I digress. When I watch the show, I leave all my problems behind, and for an hour, I'm part of their world. I live in their times and I go through their issues. But it also lets me see how other people might react to certain scenarios. I can't be alone in that sometimes you see a character that you really connect with and you just put yourself in their shoes for a bit. On the flip side of this, I sometimes wonder why we watch horror movies. If you think about it, it's kind of the opposite of the comfort scenarios I just talked about. It's meant to provoke fear, anxiety, and sometimes depression even. I feel like this is a good question because personally I love horror movies, especially ones with zombies or apocalyptic scenarios where there's just a few survivors. When thinking about it, maybe I enjoy those because I put myself in their shoes. I like to think about how I would react. For example, would I be able to outrun a zombie or a group of them? Could I scale walls like soldiers do in the movies? Or the most likely scenario, would I just get eaten? I'd like to think that maybe I'd be doing something heroic before becoming dinner. Maybe, but not so likely. But sometimes I'm just in awe of certain scenarios, like in The Walking Dead when Rick loses his wife. I was watching the way he reacted and I saw all his pain. As a husband myself, I can't even think about how much pain he went through. I don't know why, but as people, we are so morbid sometimes. How about games? I can't consider myself a gamer, I just don't do it enough. But sometimes I find hidden gems. These gems do the same in terms of being someone else for a bit, but in my case, much less than a good movie would do for me. Though there are some that have been amazing, I'll talk about them another day. Currently I'm playing Bloodstained, but this one is for another reason. Still totally related to what I'm talking about though. See, this one is a platformer, and in terms of story, it doesn't really have much to offer, but it does transport me in a different way. See, this type of game is like the ones that I used to play when I was a kid. When I played this game, it kind of takes me back to simpler times. Times when responsibilities were few and I could spend hours just leveling up and finding new areas. For me, back then, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, that was the game. This one so far can't hold a candle to that, but still, it's so similar that it just kind of takes me back and that makes it worthwhile. Now for one of my favorites, reading books. I kind of feel like this is becoming a lost form of expression, but I personally enjoy it a lot. I actually enjoy it a little bit more than I enjoy digital forms of media. Maybe because it makes me feel more connected. I currently work in tech and I can kind of tell you that it kind of makes people feel disconnected. Though that could just be me though. There's this one book which I'm pretty sure I've mentioned before. It's called Neverland by Douglas Clegg. I won't get into it here, but it was done so well that it was downright horrifying. Though again, that could just be up to my own experience. So I feel like I've made my point to why fictional works are so comforting. Either they take us back to times when we were full of comfort and peace, or they show us who we might want to be, or show us certain scenarios that we might not feel completely comfortable with. Or my favorite, it lets us escape kind of the daily grind, at least for a little while. And there's nothing wrong with this. In fact, I feel it's almost necessary.